Rez Youth Devo on YouTube. This week's Need to Know is that group season is starting on May 6th, and we're going to be going through the book of Job. You really don't want to miss out. Sign up. Details are down below. Make sure you get signed up for that. This week we are talking about community, and what a wild time to be talking about community. What a weird season that we're in. I think that in this season of life, it is so easy to become isolated and to not surround yourself with that community that you desperately need. So that's what we are talking about this week. And I am going to be talking about a story that typically you wouldn't associate with community, but it's from the life of Jesus and his ministry. And I think that there's so much that we can learn about Jesus and apply to this season of our life specifically. So this story comes from the book of John 4, and it's the story about the woman at the well, which I'm sure you've all heard. But anyway, Jesus is traveling with his disciples, and he comes to this well, and there's a woman there drawing water, and she's all by herself, and she is the type of woman that people wouldn't necessarily engage with, and she kind of has a scandalous home life going on, but Jesus does not hesitate at all. He immediately engages her, and he's very intentional about doing so. He immediately asks her for a drink of water, and she's very surprised and taken back by that, because she's like, why is he asking me for a drink of water? Like I said, she wasn't typically the kind of person that men would engage with. And even his disciples are shocked when they come back. In verse 27, it says, at this point, his disciples came back, and they were amazed that he had been speaking with the woman. But they didn't really bother him yet. So he goes on to share the gospel with her, and her life is forever changed because of that. And one of the things that I think we can pull from this story and apply to our lives in this season is that he was always intentional about engaging with people and drawing them in. He didn't let things just happen by chance. He went out of his way to engage with people and draw them in and interact with them. And I think during this season, it's so easy to let ourselves become isolated and not engage with people. And it's easy to be like, well, you know, we can't meet face to face, so how are we supposed to have community? And I would just encourage you guys to look at the life of Jesus and look at the way he lived out his ministry and apply that to your life. Be intentional. Make a plan. If that means that you have to write down each day of the week and a different action plan for each day. You know, Monday, I'm going to call this friend. Tuesday, I'm going to encourage this person. Wednesday, I'm going to set up a Zoom call with my small group or my, the people that I call my community. Thursday, I'm going to, call my neighbor, or, I know that's kind of a weird example, but be intentional. When I was in college, it was really hard for me to do online classes. I would just forget all about it and wait until the last week of the class and then have a million assignments to do, and I would really struggle. I found it very hard to have the motivation to do that. But if you are intentional about engaging with people instead of just waiting until the last minute or waiting for people to text you or waiting for people to call you, then you're not going to be in community. Be intentional about it. Make a plan. Get your community around you. Don't wait for your youth leaders to text you. Don't wait for your friends to text you and ask you how you're doing. Be intentional. Encourage them. Ask them how they're doing, and you will find yourself surrounded by community in this time that would be really easy for you to be isolated. And so my only tip would be that if you are feeling isolated so far, reach out to somebody, start calling people, start texting people. Look at the life of Jesus, where he was intentional every step of the way about engaging with people. And then don't walk around like everybody is diseased. It would be really easy right now to feel like you're so alone and everybody is contagious. But don't do that. Obviously, I'm not telling you to go ask people for a drink of water, but you can still smile at people in the grocery store or smile at people when you see them and wave. That can do a lot. And I would just encourage you guys to be like Jesus in his ministry on earth, and be intentional, create a plan, love people intentionally the way that Jesus did, even though you can't be face to face with them. Okay, that's all I have. I hope that this challenges you guys to engage with people, interact with people, and not let yourself become isolated. We love you guys. We're so excited to see you in groups this week. Bye.